Hey guys, Sonic here. Today in this video I would like to give my thoughts and critiques on the brand new Steel Rain update that was just added into Fallout 76. I am not going to have any spoilers in the first half of the video, but then I will give a very clear warning for when the spoilers are coming, and then we can start taking a look at some of the spoilers and talk about them a little bit. So with all of that being said, let's get started. Steel Rain is the final piece of the Brotherhood of Steel questline that was added in last year, and I gotta say I'm actually very impressed by this. The writing was great, the locations were phenomenal, and the characters were actually pretty memorable. The way that this DLC starts off is very intense, and I really liked it. Right when you start, you are immediately presented with three major issues. Number one is that there is still a big leadership conflict between Paladin Romani and Knight Shin. Knight Shin, of course, being a very by-the-books kind of guy, a very big soldier mindset, but then Paladin Romani is very open, and she really wants to get out there and try and help out as many people as possible. The second issue that is immediately brought up to the player is that there is a huge string of mysterious disappearances happening all over the wasteland. All of these settlements have people going missing, and nobody really has an answer for it. And the third and last issue that is thrown at you right away is the massive increase in amounts of super mutant attacks in the area. They hit the Fort Atlas, they also hit the White Springs, they even hit Foundation. They just seem to be kind of growing as a population and just wreaking havoc everywhere. The really cool thing about all of these issues being presented to you at once is that over time throughout the quest line, everything kind of starts tying together to become one major issue. And I really like that. It doesn't start off with just an objective. You go out there, do that objective, and then it's done. You actually kind of have to put the puzzle pieces together to create this bigger problem. And I really like how they did it. It was actually very well done. Over time, after investigating these things and kind of doing some quests, you are going to find a very big connection between the missing people and the heightened super mutant attacks, and then from that situation is kind of where the two different leadership ideologies come into play, because you have to kind of choose a different way to deal with the situation. You have to either choose Knight Shin's way of going in and dealing with it head on, and it doesn't really matter about the consequences, you're just doing it by the books, and then you also have Romani's way where she wants to do things the morally right way, and it just ties together beautifully. And with all of that being said, I'm not gonna lie, I really do think that this is one of the best questing experiences that I've ever had in a Fallout game. I have played every single Fallout game, and this actually has great writing. It is on par with a lot of the other really good quests that are in the other games, and even down to the very last choice, I actually did feel kind of morally strange about it. I don't want to spoil what it was, but I did end up siding with Shin, and just the whole ending there kind of did have me feeling weird. It kind of actually made me think about my actions and really consider the consequences of what I was doing. I really think that the ending of this DLC was its biggest strength. It's one of those endings where it will just kind of leave you staring at your screen thinking, did you make the right choice or did you make the wrong choice? And you just kind of have to fight with yourself over what you did. And it's really cool. I like when these kind of quests have that, where you actually have to make a moral option, similar to the Pit DLC in Fallout 3 at the ending of that. I remember just kind of sitting there and thinking to myself, did I make the right choice or not? And that is exactly how I felt with this one. And it's kind of even amplified with this because it is an online game, and you can't save the game, make the choice, do all of it, and then go back and reload it and make the other choice and see what one is better. This is straight up just online. You have to commit to your choices, and it really makes everything that you say and do just very impactful. There was actually a few times where I was talking to Knight Shin and Romani, and I would actually make the wrong dialogue choice just because I was misclicking my mouse or something like that. And I was like, oh, it's no big deal. Like, they thought I was being rude. I'll just go back there and reload the save. And then I remembered I couldn't do that. So a lot of the stuff you actually do say, again, you cannot go back and change. So it really does actually make it a more immersive experience because you have to listen to these conversations, you have to read all the dialogue options that you have, and you really just have to think twice before doing something. This whole thing about not being able to go back and relive your choices is exactly what makes the ending so difficult to do. I straight up just sat there and stared at the dialogue wheel for like at least 2 minutes just thinking about the right choice to make, because I knew once I made that choice there is no going back. So it's very impactful in certain situations, but then in certain situations where you just make the wrong comment to a character, it is kind of sad that you can't go back there and fix your wrongdoings. So if you have not played the questline yet, or if you just don't even own the game but you are still a Fallout fan, I would highly recommend just hopping in here and doing this. If anything, it is such a good questline. I honestly really do think that it is one of the best quest experiences that I've ever had in the game, and I do not mean that lightly. It is seriously that good of a questline to experience, so I highly recommend all of you to hop in here and try it out right now. And with all of that being said, it is now time for some spoilers.
Let me know if you have any luck. Try not to die a terrible death.
So starting off with the spoilers, the first thing that I want to mention is Ares as a character is beautiful. It is just so cool to actually see like their backstory, to learn some more about them, and they are really funny. A lot of the stuff that they actually said did make me chuckle a little bit. They are just a great character, and I'm so happy that we actually got to explore them farther, and I am definitely on the Ares hype wagon. Also, another thing that I actually thoroughly enjoyed throughout this entire storyline was the entire vine segment. I thought that was really unique, having to destroy these vines to get to different areas. I kind of did go off track of the quest a little bit because I thought maybe some extra rooms were locked away behind these things and stuff like that. And there actually was. There was a few chests that were locked away that you kind of have to go out of your way for, so I thought that was just a super cool addition. And another thing that I thought was really impressive about this and kind of caught me off guard was how dark the storyline actually was. I always viewed 76 as being a much more light-hearted version of the Fallout franchise. Like, Fallout 4 had darker topics, the New Vegas had even darker topics than that, and so on and so forth. But 76 never really had anything that was too dark or too unsettling to experience. But some of these things were actually pretty unsettling, where I genuinely felt bad for these people. This is one of them where they were stuck inside of this room, and when you go up to them, they just say things like, "I just want to die, like just kill me, get me out of here," and stuff like that. So that was just very dark and very surprising to see, I guess I should say. And to my surprise, the darkness of the storyline actually went all the way to the ending, and you pretty much end up committing a war crime with Night Shin against these scientists. You just execute them as they are prisoners, and I just sat there at my screen afterwards thinking like, wow, did I make the right choice? I feel horrible about this. But again, that is what made this questline so good, because it really made you feel emotion, and I haven't had that in a long time while playing a questline like this. And for as amazing as this storyline is and for how much love I am giving it, I still do have two complaints about this questline. Number one is of course the length. I do think we could have extended this just a little bit more, maybe even dive more into the Hellcat mercenary faction. We got this entire new faction, did the quest with them, and then probably won't ever see them again. So maybe, you know, seeing their HQ or finding their leader, or maybe just a whole little side quest dedicated to that would have been very nice. But my second main gripe was with the Raider War Party. I really wish we could have sided with the Raider War Party in the end. Maybe somehow got all the data from the Pip-Boy, or maybe stole it from Scribe Valdez, went to the vault with them and helped out, or maybe even went over to West Tech with the Raiders and took the scientists as prisoners and tried to like maybe ransom off the FEV. Something. I just really wish that the War Party was more explored. There was so many cool characters in there. They were very interesting. Even when you actually ended up saving them, it was really fun to go do that. I just wish the War Party had a little bit more involvement. They just kind of were there. You gave them that data maybe in the first one if you ended up doing that quest, and that's pretty much it. They don't let you come with them. They don't let you go help them fight the Brotherhood. They're just kind of there in the back of Crater just chilling most of the time. And if we were able to use the War Party to complete this questline, I know a lot of people would have been very happy with that, because I know so many Enclave players that just hate the Brotherhood. I know a lot of Raider players that hate the Brotherhood, and they didn't even really want to do the questline because they don't want to be associated with being within the Brotherhood's ranks. So having that option there for people that didn't want to join the Brotherhood would have been very nice, but in the grand scheme of things, this is a very minor complaint because we still did get an absolutely amazing quest. Now before I go, I would like to mention one thing here. This makes me really hopeful for the future of Fallout 76, knowing that they are capable of writing stories like this and capable of making it dark and great character development, great locations, great storytelling. Knowing that they can do all of this, and then knowing all the possibilities that they can do with it, it makes me so hopeful. If they can do this and replicate the same type of, you know, storytelling and hype that this had to maybe a Mole Miner questline or a Enclave questline, if they were able to do an Enclave questline with this good storytelling, I think that might be one of the best things that Fallout has ever had. So this makes me so hopeful for the future, and I really just can't wait to see what they keep doing. But that is pretty much going to be it for this review of the Steel Rain update, and I would love to know all of your guys' thoughts. Did you guys like this as much as I did, or did you not like this update at all? Also, I would really like to know if you sided with Shin or Romani in the end, and why. There's a lot of moral questions there, and I have seen some very interesting answers to that question, so if you have an answer for that, let me know down in the comments below. But I would like to give a massive thank you to everybody who stopped by and watched, and as always, a massive thank you to all of the channel members. Lanthar, Robert Kennard, Anna Reestes, Blake Heath, Fallout McFly, Captain Awesome, Citizen Girl, Chad of Fallout 76 Podcast, Esdeath93, Heather Henderson, Yosevated, Patrick Ruda, 23 Icefire, Jay Smith, Argent Deer, Bazo Double Frang, Ice Cream Manny, Chris Decker, Theodore, Digital Aardvark, Lone Samurai OG, Diathan Gaming, Christy Mellon Schwitz. You guys are amazing. I love you guys, and have a great day.